Paula Pant, the host of the Afford Anything podcast, likes to answer questions her listeners send in. This is a special episode where she also has Joe Saul-Sehy from the Stacking Benjamins show join in the fun.
Hi, Paula. This is Charlene. Thank you to you and Joe for answering my question earlier this year about using an independent financial advisor. Question for you concerning the Vanguard Target funds. I know you've mentioned that a couple of times in some of your podcasts, and I was curious if there's a particular reason why you like or prefer the Vanguard Target Fund versus, let's say, a Fidelity Target Fund. I appreciate you answering my questions, and I appreciate everything you do with the podcast. Thank you so much.
All right. Why do I love Vanguard so much? Number one,
Let me count the ways.
I'm literally counting the ways. So, number one, Vanguard is a co-op, which means that it's member-owned. It's not owned by a group of investors or a board of directors. It's owned by its members, just as, for example, just as some farmers markets are co-ops, or just as there's an outdoor gear clothing store called REI that's a co-op. Vanguard is the same thing. It is the REI of brokerages. And what I like about that is that because it's member-owned, there is never a conflict of interest between its members, you and me and Joe and, the average Joes out there. There's never a conflict of interest between the average Joe versus the owners, because all of us clients, all of us average Joes are the owners. So that's one of the two reasons that I like it. The other reason that I like it is because the founder of Vanguard, John Bogle, is the guy who invented index funds, which totally blows my mind. Like, it just it stuns me that index funds are so new that the guy who invented them is still alive.
Right. Different than podcasting, which has been around forever.
I know, right? I'm not used to all this newfangled technology.
Right, exactly. You know what I like is that when people talk about target date funds, usually target date funds are horrible because they're fees on top of fees. What'll happen is a company will put their own funds inside of a target date fund, and they get paid a management fee for all those funds. Then they get paid another management fee on top of it. And Vanguard doesn't play that game. So it's funny when I talk about target date funds, I generally hate them because they're super expensive and diversifying it yourself is not that difficult. But Vanguard definitely is the exception to that rule.
Yeah, I totally agree. For a while, I was anti-target date funds for exactly that reason. And then I looked at Vanguard's pricing structure and I was like, oh, finally, some place where it's reasonable.
Somebody gets it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, just for the sake of disclosure, neither Joe nor I have any financial relationship with Vanguard other than just being general members of the public who are customers of theirs. So we don't get paid by them. They don't have. We've tried because we love them so much and we give them all this free advertising.
Yeah.
But they actually, because their fees are so low, they don't really have an ad budget, which is why.
That's the funny thing. I've talked to people with major investment houses about, why don't you guys recommend Vanguard? Why don't you have Vanguard on your platform? And they said, because Vanguard won't pay to be on the platform. Like every one of these investment house platforms charge a fee to the brokerage services, and Vanguard's fees are so low and they have enough name recognition that they don't need to be on the XYZ platform. They can do it without it. So yeah. But Vanguard, if you want to sponsor us, still, we're here.
Yeah, exactly. It's the company that I believe in that I know will never be a sponsor because they just don't have the money for it, which is exactly why I believe in them so much. So, wow, if that was not like a stunning recommendation, I don't know what is.
Holy cow. I love you, man. I love you, Vanguard.
I also recommend double stuff Oreos.
Yes.
And what else do I recommend?
But they have a low profit margin built in. They could send our way.
Yeah, Oreo cookies. If you want
How would this podcast be if we were all sugared up? It'd be so much worse than it already is.
Oh, dude.
Paul and Joe talking at the speed of light. So anyway, we love Vanguard Funds. Here's the reason why. I feel like I need a nap.
Hey, everybody, pay off your credit card debt.
Hey, did you enjoy this excerpt from the Afford Anything podcast? Then be sure to subscribe to Paula's YouTube channel. Not only is every podcast episode and Ask Paula question released here on YouTube, other creative deep thought videos are created just for you. Remember, you can watch anything, just not everything. Fill your YouTube viewing time with more videos to make you think and grow so you can afford anything. Go ahead, hit that little red subscribe button. We'll take care of the rest.